I'm sure you've heard of the term holier than thou. And, you have people who just are just more righteous than everybody else. They're self-righteous people. They like to ruin people's fun because everything is a sin. But just as you have holier than thou people, we have people in the black community who are blacker than thou. That's right. You have people who they're just Pan-African. They're just so pro-black. They like to ruin people's fun. Today is my birthday. I was born on the same day that Patrick died. Patrick, they call him St. Patrick, died on March 17th. I was born on March 17th. But now you have people getting on the internet, getting on social media, trying to say Patrick wiped out, exterminated a bunch of black pygmies who lived in Ireland. They want to say that the indigenous people of Ireland were dark-skinned, I guess you can say midget people. Maybe that's a politically incorrect term. Short people who lived in Ireland, and then Patrick came over to Ireland and wiped them out. And the snakes that Patrick supposedly ridded Ireland of, that's really a euphemism for these pygmy people. Nothing could be further than the truth. All it takes, and I may make some people mad, but all it takes for some black people is for somebody to have a dashiki and an afro or some braids, and they say something, and people believe it. Now think about it. Think about it. Why would black people living in Africa thousands of years ago leave Africa and move to Ireland? Come on, now that makes no sense. As cold as Ireland is. Now, white skin historically gives people an advantage in cold weather climates because I'm not a scientist or a doctor or a biologist or anything like that, but having white skin, I guess you retain vitamin D in a different way. So there's no way that black people would leave Africa with its resources and move to Ireland. That's stupid. It's dumb. Now, these people were hunter-gatherer people. So why would what are they going to do? Get a bunch of ships and sail to Ireland? Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Another thing is, where are the records of these people? What they would have left artifacts behind. Even if you say that Patrick wiped them out, they're going to leave some clues behind, some traces. That's just like if someone wiped out all the black people here in the United States, there'll be evidence. There'll always be evidence. Even white people in the United States have terms that are borrowed from black people. Now, are there any Irish terms, Irish words with African roots? No. So it's just stupid that Patrick would have run into a bunch of dark-skinned midgets in Ireland. That's just dumb. I've been wearing green on March 17th all my life, and I'm not going to stop it just because some ignorant people want to claim that some black midgets were wiped off the face of the earth in Ireland. Now think about it. Think about this. The Irish people are Celtic. Okay, that's where we get the word Boston Celtics from. Celtic. Now, have the Celtics ever defeated anyone? Come on now. If the Celtic people had battled against the Pygmies would have probably beat them. I don't see anywhere in history where the Celtics ever conquered anyone. They lived in Britain, and what happened? The Anglo-Saxons came in and overran them. They lived in France. They were called the Gauls, and the country was called Gaul. Well, what happened? The Franks came in there and took over. Now it's called France. You even had Celtic people living in what's now Turkey, and they founded a colony called Galatia, right? Paul from the Bible wrote a book called Galatians. Are there any Galatian people now? No. The Turks came in and overran them. So it's not like the Celts were a bunch of mighty people who could fight, who could throw down. This is one of the stupidest things. It's just like this Willie Lynch. There's no such person as a Willie Lynch. But Louis Farrakhan can get up there and talk about Willie Lynch, and then people just believe him. It's ridiculous. Now, here's another thing, too. The Romans occupied the British Isles up until the 5th century. There's no records, no Roman records about any Pygmies, dark-skinned people living in Ireland. No records. And the Romans kept good records. They would have recorded it. Another thing, too. Someone would have bragged about it. Someone would have boasted about it. Some Celtic person would have boasted about performing a genocide on Pygmy people. You know, there was no shame in white people's game when they subjugated people. It's only now that they like to cover stuff up and smooth it over. It's just like slavery. I mean, just like the Civil War. They want to say, oh, the South, they were fighting for states' rights. They say that now, but at the time, they made it clear it was about perpetuating slavery. So back then, if the Celtic people had exterminated a group of African Pygmies in Ireland, somebody would have boasted about it. No shame to their game at that time. They wouldn't have covered it up. For what? Because they wouldn't have been accountable to anything. So this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Patrick himself was a slave. He lived in England, probably in Wales. He was kidnapped, taken across the river into Ireland. He escaped and then decided, okay, I'm going to go back to Ireland one day and help convert the people to Christianity. So I got nothing against Patrick. Patrick ain't done nothing to me, and he didn't commit any genocide. So please stop believing a bunch of propaganda from a bunch of Pan-Africanist people who are blacker than thou. They want to make everything about race. They want to turn everything into something that's racist. I had me a shamrock shake today. I bought my mama a shamrock shake. I have a green cookie that I'm about to eat. And you're not going to mess up my day for me. And if anybody has a problem with it, you can kiss where the sun don't shine.